you'll see people say that the tariffs are causing lots of inflation. You'll see it in headlines all over the place. And I want to give real data from the government that proves that that's not the case. The first point is, if you look at the inflation rate, CPI inflation rate, that's the standard used for measuring inflation in July. The 12-month inflation rate from July 2024 to 2025, 2.7%, is basically the same as in June. That's less than what it was in December and in January before Trump was even president. So at that point, it was around 3%. So the inflation has actually gone down over the past 8 months if you're just comparing it in that way. If you start looking at individual numbers, parts of the economy, prices, CPI prices in specific parts of the economy where you would expect to see tariffs causing inflation, if tariffs do cause inflation, you're not seeing it. So for example, with apparel like clothing and stuff like that, we are seeing prices actually go down a little bit, even though 97% of all clothing in the United States is imported into the United States. So if tariffs are causing inflation, then you would think that would be one area where you'd expect to see prices soaring, and we're not seeing that. When you look at new cars, we haven't seen any change in car prices, despite there being tariffs levied on foreign cars. We're not seeing it when you look at import prices. So the actual price that importers are paying, or exporters are paying, or importers when they're buying products from exporters, those prices before the tariffs are applied are not going up either. In fact, they're going down. The import prices related to China, products coming to America from China, are actually around 2 to 3% less than they were a year ago. In Mexico, it's somewhere around 9%, 10%, depending on what part you're looking at, what kinds of exports you're talking about. So we're just not seeing anything that would indicate that tariffs are causing lots of inflation. So the inflation that does exist, what is causing that? Well, actually, the government is really clear about that. It's housing. Housing is where the primary driver of inflation. And the irony of all of this is that just the justification from the Federal Reserve for keeping interest rates high is that they need to battle inflation. But the primary driver of inflation is the fact that housing prices are high, and that's all tied into the interest rates that the Fed is putting into place. So they're actually creating the problem that they think they're trying to solve. And the data is so incredibly clear about that. And yet dishonest people in the media continue to say that tariffs are causing all of these problems, when in reality, the evidence is clear that they're not.